Yeah, well, I am supporting Donald Trump, and I'm a good friend of Paul Ryan. I hope the two of them can find a way to coordinate their efforts going into November, going toward Election Day. Donald Trump should not be fighting with Paul Ryan. On the other hand, you shouldn't have so many Republicans panicking the way they did over the weekend and be walking away from Donald Trump before he even had a chance to explain himself or have the debate. I think there was too much hysteria in those first few days. If Congress want to focus in their own district, I understand that. But going out of their way that first 24 or 48 hours to distance themselves before they even knew all the facts just created this almost like a tidal wave of hysteria over the weekend. So I understand why Donald Trump was angry. He had come off a big debate. He had done very well. He had stopped the bleeding. And then he sees Republicans walking away from him. So I understand why he did it. On the other hand, it's counterproductive because there's no reason why he should be fighting with Paul Ryan. All Donald Trump should be saying is, listen, I don't expect everyone to be lined up with me. I come in this race as an independent mind. I'm going to continue that way. I would like their support. If I get it, fine. But if not, all of us are going forward. I'm representing the people. Don't be taking shots off to the side or below you. I mean, just focus on straight ahead, accentuate the positive.
Some endorsed, unendorsed, and then endorsed again. A few of them did that.
Yeah, and that was, to me, it makes no sense. First of all, listen, if you have real objections, if you are morally opposed, if you have something to stand on and you want to withdraw an endorsement, fine. But I don't know what came out again about Donald Trump over the weekend or on Friday, which was so different from what we've been hearing all along. And so these people were more than willing to stand with Donald Trump when his poll numbers were going up, when he's running even with Hillary Clinton, and then to suddenly abandon him when the first shot is fired. I don't think it wins them any voters. I think Democrats and independents see through that, and then the Trump base is going to turn against them. So just from a purely political point of view, unless they have real moral convictions on this, that's one thing. But if they're just doing it for political cover, it's not going to work because people see through that. Democrats see through it and Republicans see through it.
You said Trump might be too New York for some Republicans. I don't know what that means, but answer that or clarify that. And what do you think of the effect of the past 12 hours is on some of your fellow Republicans with these accusations?
When I said, I think I've said that several times. Basically, his style is more rough and tumble. It's when somebody punches him, he automatically punches back. We do that in New York. I mean, he and I both grew up in Queens. His neighborhood was a little bit better than mine. But it is that street corner type style, which I think other parts of the country maybe don't adapt to right away. But as far as the last 12 hours, listen, the New York Times is turning into the National Enquirer. I have no idea what the facts are in those situations, but for the New York Times to be going out of their way to find these stories, again, it's up to Donald Trump. It's going to be his word against theirs. I have no idea what's the validity of it. But to me, for people like the New York Times to be putting all this effort into these stories and virtually ignoring what's being said about Hillary Clinton with WikiLeaks, which are also maybe rumors, who knows. But the New York Times, to me, it's a lot more important to be focusing on the allegation against Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. And I'm not diminishing the others, but for the Times to be focusing the way it did, I think in some ways it plays into Donald Trump's hands that the establishment's out to get him, the media's out to get him, and he's not getting a fair shake. And after a while, these charges can just end up being so cumulative that people will disregard them. Now, if it happened, it happened, and it's wrong, and that's up to Donald Trump to defend himself. I'm not getting into the allegations. I have no idea what happened.